name's Michael, and if you're new to the channel, welcome to Tabletop-Infiltrator. How did I get on last week with my first video? Well, I was a complete and utter nervous wreck. I thought I could just sit here in front of my camera, talk about Warhammer and upload it onto YouTube. That's definitely not what happened. It was a lot harder, and I have a newfound respect for anyone who's creating content for the platform. Next, I want to give you a bit more of an overview of the army structure. So, like I said in my first video, I've already written my army list. It's going to be a single battalion detachment, giving me a total of 12 command points. I'm now down to 10, as I've used 2 to give some additional warlord traits and some relics. And I've now finished painting up my first squad, so let's take a look. And here they are. This is my 5-man tactical squad. This is one of 2 that I've got planned to put into the army, and my second one I'm aiming to finish it either today or tomorrow. Now, I got these guys from an old Kill Team box set that I had lying around, and the last cannon came from my bits box. What I'm trying to do is spend as little money as possible actually building the army and using as many resources that I already have. So the paints that I used for the squad were a Chaos Black spray can to do the base coat. The main colour was heavy blue. All the silver parts on the weapons and the armour itself were lead belcher silver. Balthazar gold was used to do all the ornate parts on the armour and the Aquillas. I used Negro black to tidy up some bits on the model. Gory red was used on the armoured case of the Stormbolter, as well as the lenses on both that and the last cannon, and I also used that to do the lenses on the Marines' helmets themselves. White Scar was used just to do the little dots on the lenses. Washed the entire model in Nuln Oil, tidied it back up again with heavy blue and any other colours that were too covered in Nuln Oil. And the basing was just some sand from the beach stuck down with PVA glue and given a wash of flesh wash. The Sergeant is modelled with a Stormbolter and a power sword, but this was just to test out some painting techniques and some colour schemes for those weapon loadouts. I also did was magnetise the last cannon Marine, just because in the future if I want to change the weapon loadouts, it makes it easier to do so. So with my first squad ready for the tabletop, let's have a look at why I chose them and what their role is going to be. So I have 2 tactical squads in my army. Each model is 18 points, and with a last cannon in each squad, the total comes up to 105 points per squad. Looking at their data sheet, they've got movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds now, 1 attack on the normal Marine and 2 on the Sergeant, leadership 7 and 8 with a 3+ save. Because I've only got 5 models in the squad, I can have 1 special weapon or 1 heavy weapon, and I've gone for the last cannon. The keywords are Imperium, Adeptus Astartes, Infantry, Corps, Melter Bombs and Tactical Squad. Now, I am on the fence a little bit when it comes to the last cannon, because it's got some good range, range 48, so on smaller boards it will reach right across the table. Heavy 1, strength 9, AP -3. However, D6 damage, it's a little bit unreliable. You go through all that effort to hit and to wound, and then you roll a 1 on the damage. That's incredibly frustrating. And for a unit that I just want to sit at the back and take some pot shots, it might not be the most reliable of weapons. So I have been thinking about maybe going for a heavy bolter. It's slightly cheaper, range 36, so still good range, heavy 3, strength 5, -1, and 2 damage per shot. That is really good. So yeah, comment below just to see what your preference is, either for a heavy bolter or a last cannon. So why have I gone for the tactical squads over the Intercessor squads? Well, firstly, because I love Firstborn Marines, so I want to include them in my army, but also it's down to the fact of what they're wanting to do on the battlefield. The Intercessor squads have 2 attacks and 3 for the sergeant, where the tactical marines have 1 attack and 2 for the sergeant. But the tactical marines, I don't actually want them getting involved in close combat. They're there solely just to sit on home field objectives and denying areas for deep strikers, and then just maybe taking some pop shots at some models with their heavy weapon choices. And that again is another reason why I've chosen the tactical squad. The Intercessors don't actually have an option for a heavy weapon. They have their Astartes grenade launcher, but being able to give a squad a heavy bolter or a las cannon just gives them a bit more tactical versatility. Looking through the codex, what I can see is that how Games Workshop have differentiated really between Intercessors and tactical marines is the use of stratagems. There is now a lot more stratagems focused towards Primaris Marines than there are Firstborn Marines, such as transhuman physiology. You can only use that now on Primaris Marines, not Firstborn. There are some stratagems though that you can use. So Steady Advance, which is 2 command points. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when an Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army makes a normal move. Until the end of that turn, that unit is considered to remain stationary. So that would be good if I've moved the squad up and I want to fire the last cannon without the -1 to hit penalty. Spec Scan, which is again 2 command points. Use this stratagem at the end of your reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase. Select 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army that is not within engagement range of enemy units. That unit can shoot as if it were the shooting phase, but its models can only target a single eligible enemy unit that was set up as reinforcements this turn, and that is within 12 inches of their unit in doing so. So again, that's one of the roles that the tactical squad is going to be fulfilling, sitting on those backfield objectives, protecting my deployment zone from deep strikers, and if they do come in, I can use Spec Scan on them. Now they also have the Melter Bombs keyword, so I can use this stratagem for 1 command point. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when an Adeptus Astartes Melter Bomb unit from your army is selected to fight. Select 1 model in that unit. That model can only make 1 attack this phase and must target an enemy vehicle unit with that attack. But if a hit is scored, that unit suffers 2d3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. So if for some reason the squad gets up close and personal and with a vehicle, they can use that stratagem. Next is Hellfire Shells for 1 command point. Now this is if I was to equip the unit with a heavy bolter. So use a stratagem in your shooting phase when an Adeptus Astartes infantry model from your army shoots with a heavy bolter, a Hellstorm heavy bolter or an Executioner heavy bolter. You can only make 1 attack with that weapon this phase, but if a hit is scored, the target suffers d3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. If a hit is scored against a monster unit, that unit suffers 3 mortal wounds instead of d3. So for 1 command point, dishing out some mortal wounds, which is quite helpful. And then we have Uncompromising Fire for 2 command points. So use this stratagem in your shooting phase. Select 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry unit from your army that is performing an action. That unit can shoot this phase without that action failing. So if I was using like raise the banners or something like that on my backfield objective, and I absolutely needed to get a shot off with say the last cannon, I could play this and I could do that. It is a bit costly at 2 command points, but if I really needed to, the option is there for them. So that's why I've gone for the tactical squads. So that's the first week done on my project for my new Space Marine army. Hopefully I'll have my 2nd tactical squad finished up tonight, and then I'll be moving on to these bad boys. A 10-man squad of Primaris Infiltrators. These guys look awesome, and I can't wait to crack on, get them built and painted up for my army. Join me next week to see my progress and how I'll be using these guys on the tabletop. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that thumbs up and sharing it. And if you want to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button below. It really does help me out at no extra cost to yourself. Again, in the comments section, any tips and hints for me would be really appreciated, and also moving forward with the lore behind my Redeemer's Space Marine chapter. And I'll hopefully see you next time.